Have you ever read a love story that made your heart race and thought, I wish I could write something like that? If that dream has ever crossed your mind, you are in the right place. Hi, I'm Andrea from Bibisco, the novel writing software downloaded by more than 200,000 writers all over the world to bring their stories to life. And today we are talking about how to write a romance novel that truly makes your readers fall in love. By the end of this video, you will know how to structure the perfect romantic plot, build deep and believable characters, and write love scenes that feel naturally and emotionally real. Romance is not just the most popular genre in the world, it's also the most profitable. Romance consistently sells more books than any other category, year after year. In fact, it drives a huge portion of the entire publishing industry. Whether in bookstores, ebooks, or audiobooks, love stories dominate the charts. But that success isn't about formulas or marketing trends. It comes from something far deeper. Love is the one emotion every human being understands. It crosses languages, cultures, and generations. A teenager reading on a phone in Tokyo and a retiree turning pages in Paris both know what it means to fall for someone, to risk rejection, to hope that this time it might last. Strong romance rests on 5 threads you will keep weaving from first page to last. First, your protagonists should feel like real people, not flawless or extraordinary, but messy, vulnerable, and full of life. Let us see the contradictions that make them human. The lawyer who believes in rules but can't stop breaking his own. The teacher who inspires everyone to follow their dreams but is too afraid to chase her own. Second, chemistry. The pause before an answer. The laugh that comes a bit too late. The way one character picks up the other's phrasing without realizing it. Chemistry is language, timing, restraint, and surprise. If you can make proximity feel dangerous in the best possible way, you are already halfway there. Third, conflict. Without friction, intimacy has nothing to push against. Conflict can be external, distance, money, public pressure, or internal, fear of abandonment, a secret, a value that collides with desire. Let the obstacles test not only whether the couple wants each other, but whether they can communicate, trust, and change. Fourth, emotional depth. A romantic beat should land physically and emotionally. When they argue, what old wound does it press? When they touch, what truth does it admit? Tie every scene to a feeling that matters. And if you are already feeling a bit of emotional depth with this video, go ahead and make it official. Hit the like button and subscribe. That way we can keep these beautiful creative relationships going. Okay, let's give this love story the ending it deserves, a satisfying resolution. Happily ever after and happy for now aren't cliches when they are earned. The ending should feel like a door the characters opened themselves because of what they learned and what they risked, rather than a gift the plot handed them. Imagine romance as a sequence of rising recognitions. The first spark happens in their first meeting. It doesn't need to be cute, just electric. Maybe they argue over the last umbrella in a shop just as the rain starts pouring outside. Maybe they match on a dating app and realize they have already blocked each other on Instagram. Whatever you choose, let the first moment suggest both attraction and trouble. From there, you let tension simmer. Keep their worlds intersecting in ways that raise the emotional temperature. Give them reasons to talk and reasons to hold back. Let them be braver together than they are alone, but not quite brave enough to tell the whole truth. Then an inciting incident pushes everything forward. Perhaps they must co-plan a charity gala after publicly clashing, or get stuck together on a delayed flight halfway across the world. The incident should force proximity and choice. It says, you can't just walk away, you have to deal with this person. After that, the obstacles escalate. Promises are tested, old patterns resurface, a rival appears, a secret leaks. The couple gets moments of sweetness, but each kiss raises the price of failure. Let the pressure make their flaws visible. Maybe one retreats into work, the other flirts with self-sabotage. The story tightens like a violin string. At the climax, they face the thing they have avoided. It might be a public confession, a sacrifice, compass, the admission of a lie, or the courage to choose love over old loyalties. And most important, the choice should cost something. If it doesn't cost, it doesn't count. Then the resolution offers emotional closure. We don't need fireworks, we need truth, a promise that feels specific to these two people. Not I love you in general, but I love the way you ask better questions than anyone else, or I love that you see the world as fixable. Details make commitment feel real. Bibisco's timeline is perfect for mapping this emotional rhythm. It lets you see the entire arc of your story from the first meeting to the final resolution, so you can balance tension and release and make sure every bit in the relationship happens at the right time. Every romance novel lives within a pattern, a shape readers instinctively recognize and expect. It might be an enemies to lovers story, where tension turns into tenderness, a friends to lovers arc, where years of quiet affection finally surface, or romantasy, where love meets magic, kingdoms are at war, and a prophecy or forbidden bond ties two souls who should never be together. These conventions aren't limitations, they are promises. Readers open a romance novel with certain expectations, the emotional journey they are about to experience, the tension, the rhythm, the kind of ending that feels right for that world. Understanding those conventions doesn't limit you, it gives you power. It lets you deliver what readers crave and then surprise them in ways they didn't see coming. Tension isn't shouting, it's a charged silence. It grows when we know what each character wants and what they are afraid of losing. Give them private goals that clash. She wants to prove she can run the family business. He wants to sell the building and start over. Let a deadline tighten the screws, a festival in 2 weeks, a visa expiring, a storm closing the pass. Deadlines create momentum without melodrama. Misunderstandings can also work, but they must be rooted in character. If your couple misreads each other, it should come from their wounds, not from a conveniently dropped phone call. Maybe she assumes indifference because her father was always late. Maybe he assumes rejection because he has been treated as a trophy before. When they finally speak plainly, the correction should feel like healing, not a cheap trick. Rivals can deepen the story too, not as villains but as mirrors. The rival shows what an easier path would look like and why your protagonist says no. If your love interest is sunshine, the rival may be shade, comfortable, predictable, safe. This is where Bibisco's mind map shines again. It lets you track every emotional connection between lovers, rivals, friends, and families, so that the tension in your story always grows from real human relationships. When you approach a romantic scene, especially a pivotal one, slow down. Set matters. Describe what anchors the moment. The late afternoon light on the floorboards, the hiss of the espresso machine, a song drifting in from the street. Let the setting mirror the emotion. If they are trying not to kiss, let the room feel smaller, the clock ticking too loudly, their voices dropping to whispers. If they are finally honest, open the world around them. Sunlight spilling across the floor, curtains moving in the breeze, a door or window crack open. Build anticipation by showing the push and pull between your characters, the moments when they get close and then step back. Let their words hint at something deeper than what they are saying. Sometimes a touch is more powerful when it doesn't quite happen. Adjusting a sleeve, fastening a necklace, a hand posing on a doorknob that never turns. And always make consent part of the moment. It can be as simple as one character saying, "If you don't want this, just say no," followed by the answer we have all been waiting for. Afterwards, don't skip the emotional echo. How they carry the moment. Do they feel steadier or more afraid? Do they make tea and talk until the kettle runs dry? Aftermath is where trust grows. Different romance audiences have different preferences about how explicit scenes should be. Calibrate to your reader. Fade to black can be as powerful as a fully rendered scene if the emotional beats are clear and choice to fade is intentional. If you want to explore how your characters would truly behave in these intimate moments, use Bibisco's character interviews. They help you discover their values, fears, and desires in their own voice, which makes emotional scenes much more authentic. Writing a romance novel is both art and architecture. You are not just following inspiration, you are shaping emotion, structure, and rhythm so that everything works together. The right tool, like Bibisco, can help you do exactly that. You can go beyond the surface of your characters and explore who they truly are, their contradictions, wounds, values, and secret desires. With the character tools and interviews in Bibisco, you can uncover what they fear most, what they long for, and what they would never admit out loud. With Bibisco's timeline, you can trace the evolution of their love from the first spark to the moment of truth. You will see at a glance where the tension peaks, where it softens, and where a new beat might be needed. And with mind maps, you can visualize every relationship in your story: lovers, rivals, family, friends, and how their choices affect one another. It's a simple way to make sure your conflicts feel inevitable, not accidental, and that your love story grows inside a rich, believable world. When you can see the whole shape of your story, its characters, relationships, and emotional rhythm, you can write with confidence. You can focus on what really matters, the truth of your characters, and the courage it takes to love. In the end, a great romance novel is a love letter to bravery. It reminds us that tenderness isn't weakness, that truth is worth the risk, and that two people choosing each other honestly can change the world around them. That's all for today. If you are ready to turn your idea into a living, breathing love story, download Bibisco using the link in the description. It will help you map your plot, shape your characters, and bring your romance to life. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy writing.